everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dunes Billions, or Moduni actually. But this channel is to help everyone who aspires to be a billionaire in dollars. I think that's just a very simple way to put the mission of the channel. We are on the journey, and that's where we are going to. We are not stopping until we get there. The essence of this video isn't for everyone or anyone to feel pressure to leave clinical practice as a healthcare professional. I am just here to share my journey and potential opportunities that lie out there for healthcare professionals that are considering tech as a space to get into. Let's get into it. So, as you already know, I moved to the United States of America in 2023 as an international student for my MPH MBA graduate degree at the Johns Hopkins University. As part of the MBA program, one of the key requirements is an internship program. The internship program is something that you do. It's usually about 40 hours a week, usually just about like a full-time, job role that you do for 3 months, usually for 10 to 12 weeks. And you do that during the summer between your first year of the program and the second year of the program. So many MBA students get into so many different industries and are interested in so many different industries, honestly. So there's interest and there's where you eventually land. And I think that's actually one of the key lessons from this video. So if you are familiar with the MBA landscape, you will know the different industries possible. In fact, there are a lot of them, and some include finance, healthcare, technology, consumer goods, consulting, and amongst many others, right? Like I earlier said, there's interest and there's where you eventually land. As a pharmacist, of course, my initial thought was, oh, there's no better person to get into pharma than me. There's no other person that will be chosen aside from me, right? Of course, you have to have that confidence. So I came into the recruiting space, trying to be as confident as possible in my prior experience and in the skill set that I have at the time, which was largely in pharma. However, knowing me for who I am, I'm also open to other industries, because of course, why did I come for an MBA as a pharmacist? It's not something that most pharmacists do. A lot of times it's either you're trying to pivot away from clinical practice, or you're just really drawn to the business side of healthcare. I also just didn't want to box myself in the healthcare space. So I obviously decided to try new terrains. In my school, at the Johns Hopkins Business School, the Carey Business School, one of the requirements as you start the program is that you have to attend the professional development class. And in that class, you are encouraged, or in fact, you are mandated to have a list of companies that you really are interested in and you really want to apply to. Now, in my school, as an international student, you are advised to pick companies that will prioritize international students. So for me, I think the first key for me was which companies would sponsor international students. It did not matter if they were selling cigar or baby oil or teddy bears. Are they sponsoring international students? So I think that was the first priority for me. That was the most important one for me. And for that reason, I went ahead to list out so many different companies in so many different industries, regardless of if they were, healthcare companies or not. Healthcare was my interest, but here I am as an international student navigating the job market here in the United States of America. So I needed to be very flexible. In doing that, I had companies in the consulting space. I even had investment banks on my list, of course. Girl, I had everything. So I had tech companies as well. And I was, open to applying to all of these companies. And when the recruitment cycle started, there's usually a time for recruitment. And you also have to be very, intentional about that. So when the recruitment cycle started, it usually starts around June, July for some very early companies, and then mostly August, September for most tech companies. So I think June, July was like around Apple rolled out the applications. I think it was mostly to just put your resume. They will see if you're a good fit for any of the roles. The same thing with Google. And in my head, I'm like, I've heard of Apple Health. And that's why I think that as healthcare professionals, we cannot just stay doing only the clinical or the, not administrative part side of things, right? You have to be very updated with information. Every year I would join Apple when they are, launching their products, and I would see medical doctors speak on behalf of, the new iWatch, speak about, the products, talk about the tests and series of research that have been done. And in my mind, I'm like, hold up, Apple actually employs medical doctors to do these things, because of course, if you are going to give the world a product, you are not going to give us a mediocre of a product. You are going to give us something that has been tested over and over and over again. And so I think those kind of instances already opened up my heart to know that, okay, there are actually opportunities for healthcare professionals in other industries beyond healthcare or pharma. So Apple would roll out, Google the same thing. I know that there's Google Health. Google also has some products. Microsoft, Nvidia, a lot of them have their healthcare arm. Amazon as Amazon Pharmacy. So of course, by the time I was coming in, I was like, okay, the problem now is I don't see applications for these jobs come up as, oh, Google Health is recruiting, Amazon Pharmacy is recruiting, how do I get in? Also, considering the fact that I came in through the MBA program, there are like statutory MBA roles that most companies roll out because they also understand the MBA program, the calendar, and all of that. So I was open, like I said, I had my interest, but I was also open to other industries. And so my search started. I started applying. I was showing my resume in for companies that I thought were, early birds, and they were going to be able to, sponsor my stay, get me an opportunity to have work papers in the United States. And so my key priorities were my work papers. You have to be legal here, post-graduation, as well as what other things can I do beyond pharma. I love pharma. If you know anything about me, I really wanted to be there, but I don't think they loved me. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. But I don't think that's really the case because my offer came in very early. So yeah, I don't think that's really the case. So what did I do? I began to look at these roles that were being rolled out by tech companies. I looked at my skill set. What skill set was I coming in with? Yes, so I had worked in the community pharmacy practice. I'd worked in public health, and then I'd worked in pharma. My experience in pharma had given me an exposure to the business side of things. Interestingly, it was not the longest stay, but trust me, I learned a lot working in that role. So now coming in to the program as an MPH MBA grad student, I had the opportunity to, own very core healthcare skills. So now an MBA as well, the business side, and now my program at Hopkins being very, very, core to technology. So it's an AI-driven program. You have to take a lot of courses on artificial intelligence. And for that reason, I felt like I was well equipped for the tech space as well. I looked at the roles that were being rolled out. I looked at my skill set, and I was able to speak to a couple of them. And then I threw out my application. I did apply for these roles. To be fair to you, I wasn't thinking much of it at the time. I just thought, let me just apply. I will not be their first choice. But guess what? In less than 2 weeks of application, I got an interview request to say you have been scheduled for an interview. In my mind, I was like, they have come again. This is about to be a joke. Somebody is trying to scam me. Later that, I think I got the interview request on a Thursday. I had already set up a coffee chat, which had nothing to do with this, for the following day. So as I was talking to this person who happens to actually work in big tech as well, and I thought, I got this interview invite. I think someone is trying to scam me in the US. And I was like, share your screen. And he's like, no, this is not a scam. Take this very seriously. Girl, guy, that was it. And guess what? It was really a role that leveraged my current skill set. I keep telling people, I do not think that many employers or many recruiters are looking to recruit you for something that you have absolutely no clue about. Yes, you have done this amazing MBA program. What have you done prior to coming for the MBA program? Go and look at the statistics. Very few people actually get to transition completely when it comes to their career. What you can transition, it can change industries. And I think that's just what I was able to leverage on. I felt like I've always had this skill set. I'd worked in pharma, I'd worked in the energy industry. Why not technology? So as I, went through the interview stages, I remember one of the interviewers saying, "You seem very adaptable." And I think that's something that as healthcare professionals, we really, really need to develop and build. Many of us are so fixated. Yes, we want to do healthcare technology, but we are so fixated on clinical practice. This is what I want to do, and that's how it has to be. It has to be this way. It has to be that way. I'm not saying you shouldn't pursue clinical practice. You should, especially if industry is not something you're interested in. But if you're interested in industry, you really want to balance it out. You really want to also develop other skill set that would be applicable to other industries, right? So I was coming with, sales, marketing, so many other different experiences from, interestingly, community pharmacy practice and, of course, big pharma, right? And that was what helped me to transition and land and go through this journey seamlessly. Now, did my MBA help me? For sure. I wouldn't have been able to apply at all if I was not in an MBA program. Did the name of my school help me? I really think so. Because when you're trying to recruit for healthcare and you say, "I am from the Johns Hopkins University," stop it. It's a shutdown. It is a shutdown. So because I went to Hopkins, I think that also helped me leverage, the name Hopkins was a leverage for me, and it helped me to, go through and get my, it also helped my, my resume to be noticed early enough. And some of these interviews happen in phases and different rounds, right? So they are like people that apply very early on and get interviewed or shortlisted in September. Some people November, December, January. I was shortlisted very early, like very, very early. And this is no brags, and this is not me being boastful, but I'm just also saying that the program that I was in an MPH MBA program. I was in public health. So we as technologists are looking at the effect of technology on public health. We are also looking at somebody that has the business side, and interested in somebody that has a healthcare background. Excuse me, it was just the combination of all three working together for me. So I'm just here to say that it is possible, it is doable. You want to look out and reach out for, first, what opportunities are there? Two, as I, begin to navigate this journey, how can I tell my story? What skill set do I have that can help this new role that I'm trying to get into? And thirdly, you want to be open-minded. Apply. You never know. Don't throw yourself out before time. And with that, I think I have been able to, shed a bit more light on how I was able to transition. And I hope that this would be helpful to someone out there who is looking to transition into health tech. Please let me know if you have any questions, concerns, or even other, suggestions and advice. Please keep me posted, and let's keep building this brand together. Please subscribe. Please, subscribe. As you can see, we are churning out real life content here. We are not joking. Please send it to your friends, your mommies, your daddies, your doctors, your consultants. We have a lot of consultants back in Africa that want to move, and they're thinking, "Oh, do I all have to do clinical roles?" No, there are doctors in my organization. Very and they be earning. We'll talk about that another time. Please. Thank you guys for coming. Subscribe. Bye.
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Numbers 6:24-26.